How are we doing? I think my music might be a little loud. How is everyone? Good to see you. Who's in the chat? Crystal Moe, good to see you. Vegan Games, good morning. So we've got vegan games, vegan gays, and vegan games. That's not even slightly confusing. I see what you're doing there. You're probably going to nick some of Richard's followers as they mistype. Robert Pacino's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Sergeant Stacey Langley. Bewildered Bill. That's a cool name. Whereabouts are you in the world, Bill? Vegan Mooncat. Do subscribe to Vegan Mooncat if you've not already. He's great stuff. And he's got a lovely dog named Jeff. Richard Benham's in the house. Holly JJ. Toby Gosling. You beautiful person. How dare you. Stain. Res Vegan. And Jared Warnest. Hey Paul. Hi Jared. Where in the world are you, Jared? And how's the vegan scene there where you are? Angry vegans here. How you doing, angry vegan? Greetings and salutations. I love that. That's very good. Why is that cat whacking me in the head? What have I done to him? I don't know, I'm vegan. Bewildered Bill. It is I, Mrs. Danachik. Greetings from rural Germany. That's confusing. I struggle at the best of times. How's everyone doing? What are you up to today? And other such things. I'm very late today. I had a little bit of a lay-in. I decided to have a bit of a semi-day off today. This is about as much of a day off as I'll have. Obviously, I'm streaming, but doing little bits and pieces. But I won't be working too hard at like banging out a video or something like that. Try to get some nature time with the little lady, maybe a couple of meditations. I have got to do my sprints after this though. Guys, can you remind me at 9:20 to drink my matcha? I can't even see it because it's green. I've got to drink my matcha to fuel me up for my hill sprints on my bike, this hard-on graft. So 9:30, I need to see some reminders because I'm right stupid and I won't remember. Raz, just been to some car boots. I love car boots. Yeah, I used to enjoy that. Like, I've not been to one for a long time now. I remember helping run some as a lad, and I found it really enjoyable, actually. Yeah. Alex Grant, got to revise a ton, got my exam soon. What are you studying, Alex? Raz the Vegan, Invisibility Matcher. Yes, from Dungeons and Dragons. I used to play that as a lad. Any of you guys been into like the role-playing games? I've just seen my CBD, or I've not even had my CBD yet this morning. Terrible. This isn't a plug, I swear, but you can get money off. Link in the description. Give us your money. Boom. Oh yeah, they've got some new products out, Honest Hemp. So this was already new, cooling gel. I don't think this is actually CBD. No. This isn't actually a CBD product. It is a hemp product. They've got omega-3. It's for like soothing your muscles, fast absorption, all natural. So it's for like achy joints and like sore muscles. So they'd already released this one fairly recently. And then I got a surprise package in the post. Oh, you can actually see these ones. So it's like a warming gel, so again for sports performance. And anti-chafe, how do I say that? Is it chamois cream? Chamois? Chamois? So this is hemp oil and menthol. Reduces friction. I don't really get it now, but when I was at my biggest in terms of like mass, my quads used to rub together and I would get like, like really sore, like chafe marks. So that would have been a godsend. And then the warming gel, eucalyptus oil, turpentine oil. Veg police would be all over that. They'd probably eat it though. Methyl salicylate and menthol. Methyl salicylate. Goji Man talks about salicylates, don't he? So, yeah, I guess this would be a good pre-workout. So maybe I'll put some of this on my quads today. Yeah. Anyway, so then, money off, link below. Hench CBD 30% off your first order. It's Hench CBD 15 for 50% off all subsequent orders. Right, who's saying what? Anharad is here. Private Anharad. Do subscribe to her. It's her birthday coming up, I've heard. I think it's next week sometime. She's going to be 18. Subscribe to Anharad as like an early birthday present. If you're a younger person, if you've got like children, etc., they'll really love her channel. So do get them onto her. Alex. I'm in secondary school doing my hires, sort of school to A levels. Oh, okay. Cool. Karen Jones, what do you use the oil for? So it does a few things. It's a very powerful anti-inflammatory, basically, and people notice mental and physical benefits. For me, the main benefit is it helps to keep me like really calm. You know, historically, I would never have been doing this. I had like terrible sort of, I wouldn't say terrible social anxiety. I had some degree of social anxiety. It could be worse in sort of new situations, but certainly broadcast, I would have never have been doing this, you know, TV, radio, podcasts, public speaking, you know, which I've done. I would never have been doing it all. And yeah, I was sort of doing okay, slowly doing it, you know, getting exposure therapy, like, you get better at it by doing it. But still, there was quite some anxiety, and I just found with the CBD oil, particularly in terms of public speaking, my ability just really suddenly skyrocketed, a lot less anxious. That's really the main benefit I see. It helps sleep as well. It helps to wind down, because I'm so passionate and I work so hard. I can be so driven. I can work from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed almost, and so my brain will be going like 1,000 miles an hour, and I find it hard to wind down. But I take this about 4 hours before I turn in, and it just helps to calm your mind down and relax you. A lot of people really rave over it for pain in the body, sports performance, like exercise recovery. I think because my nutrition was already so on point, I didn't notice really any further benefits. Actually, I say that, and I did accidentally run out at one point, and I stopped having it for a bit, and I did notice some joint pains creeping in, which I didn't seem to have before. So no, I am seeing benefits to pain throughout the body as well. Yeah, so it's really sort of depression, anxiety, and then pain, sports recovery. It doesn't work for everyone in every situation. It depends what's the underlying cause behind things, but a lot of problems stem from inflammation. It's just a very powerful anti-inflammatory. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough. Because I get it for free, I've been doing the maximum dose for like the last couple of years, and yeah, I love it. I really love it. I wouldn't be without it now. Jared is in Adelaide. Wow, vegan scene is small but growing. Good. B12 question. I have 1,000 microgram tab supplement. Can I take the 2.5 of it weekly, or should I take the dose daily? If you're over age 65, you should take 1,000 micrograms per day. Under age 65, you likely only need about 50 or so micrograms per day, but you can take a bolus dose, which is what you're alluding to here. If you're going to do 2,500 micrograms, do that on one day. Do that in one hit, and that should work better, from what I understand. Dr. Gregor's got like loads of videos. He did an update fairly recently on nutritionfacts.org about that. Mind versus Misery. That is a cool name. Mind versus Misery. I like that. The thumbnail for this video looks badass. Yeah, thank you. I've got this lovely photographer friend, Claire O'Hara. I think we've done 3 photo shoots now, in the gym that is. We've also done, she helped me with the photography for my latest cookbook. And her images, they've got, I've been in Muscle and Fitness magazine, Vegan Life, and they just love her photos. So I just asked her really for some basic posing one, like the typical bodybuilder poses. I said I wanted those. And she said, can I do some sort of artsy ones as well? And so after I got the ones I wanted, we went round the gym. and she liked it near the windows. You can see like the window silhouette on my chest and whatever, and they're really moody, aren't they? Like, yeah, that is a cool photo, isn't it? I really like that myself. Yeah, thanks for saying that. ClaireO'HaraPhotography.com. Nick Craig, I never take any supplements, including B12. That may not be a very clever thing to do. You might get away with it for a time, but if you've got no dietary source of B12, you are risking dementia, paralysis, and death. Dementia, paralysis, and death. So if you're not getting it adequate through your food, I would seriously do something about that sooner rather than later. Jigsaw, any tips for uveitis? If I knew what it was, I might have. Hang on, I'll have a search. See, I don't know it all. Inflammation in the middle layer of the eye, called the uvea. It can cause eye pain, change vision. Most cases get better with treatment, such as steroid medicine. Yeah, I wouldn't know on that one. I wouldn't know. It sounds like you need medical intervention there. You might do a search on nutritionfacts.org just in case. There's some literature on nutrition and uveitis. If there is, Dr. Gregor likely will have done something on it. Sorry I couldn't be of any further help. Stacey Langley, going to be enjoying a day out in York today. Nice. I hope the rain holds off, but even if it doesn't, still a nice chance to get away for a bit. Lovely, yeah. Yep. Oh, very good. Kelly Horrocks is up in there. Nice to see you, lovely. And Anya, thanks for joining. Bewildered Bill, it's good to hear you worked through your anxiety and that CBD help. To be honest, I'm still working through it. I still get anxious if I'm being interviewed. It's the minute it becomes like a performance, you know, and you're on stage, there's people watching, or, you know, you're doing a podcast, you know, people are listening in or watching the video. And I sometimes, because when I was a lad, I was being interviewed for a radio station when I was a little lad, and I went all self-conscious and freaked out and panicked, like hot and sweaty, and my mind went completely blank. And now I can sort of worry, I sort of think, I didn't really realise how much it was affecting me, because my whole life I just avoided that sort of thing, but obviously the last 6 years I've been wanting to put out this message. And yeah, there is the potential for that to happen to me. When I'm being interviewed, I might think, oh, am I going to blank again? And if I've got to tell a bit of a story, I'll be worrying, oh, am I going to get to the end of it? And sometimes that can cause me to forget what I'm saying. So I'm kind of still working through it. I mean, certain things help, but I've definitely got trauma linked to that past thing. But I'm working through it. I'm starting the Joe Dispenza work. He's got a book, How to Change the Habit of Being Yourself, I think it's called, and it's a lot of meditation. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm not like entirely like anxiety free, but how many people are really? And it's scary. It is scary. I mean, I am gonna be up in soon into sort of a bigger thing. Like, I won't be doing so much YouTube, and we're gonna have our own kind of platform. There'll be basically we're going up to a whole new level, and it is a bit scary. And but there's no way I'm gonna not give it my bloody best shot. It's too much of a life-changing opportunity. So yeah, so I'm still a work in progress, but when I look back how far I've come, if you consider I was like 21 and a half stone, I was a doorman. And I've been married in the past, and this was 2 years before I was due to get married, and I was in the nightclub working as a bouncer, 21 and a half stone, thought I was real tough, and I just thought to myself, oh, imagine if I had to give this speech now in front of this dance floor full of people, and I had like a panic attack. I had like a panic attack thinking about it at work, where I need to be in charge, and like, you know, the first night, like after I after we sort of set a date, and I got home and I went to go to sleep, I just started thinking about, I've got to do a speech in front of people, and I was just cold sweats and my heart was racing, and I got about 4 hours sleep that night. So if I think, and now I'm doing this, I know I can't see you all, but it's just 33 people today. But I've done like public speaking in front of a couple of hundred people now, and I've got through it. So I've come a bloody long way, and if I can get that far, well, I think I can go all the way. No, I can go all the way, and this message is too bloody important. I refuse to let a little bit of anxiety beat me. I refuse to. There's too many animals and people to save, and our beautiful planet. Anyway, thanks for bigging me up. Do you know that it feels good to me to get that off my chest and to be open and vulnerable and authentic about that? That makes me feel a bit more chill about it. Like, if people already know about it, like, what have I got to fear? Like, people already know that that's a thing. I think that gives me a little bit of confidence in a way. That's interesting. Thanks for bringing that up. Bewildered Bill. Anya, how do you consume the oil? Does it make you a teeny bit high? Doesn't make you high. There's no THC whatsoever. And you just pop it under the tongue. So it's in a little dropper. You just drip it under the tongue. You try and hold it there for like a minute, and that just helps to like absorb it. It just makes you feel super chill. The reason people tend to get paranoid nowadays with cannabis is that initially the THC and the CBD were kind of in balance, but now they selectively breed to have high THC to make people higher, but they've not got the CBD to counterbalance the anxiety, and so that's why that's happened. So. It don't make you high in the... There are brands in other countries, like America, you can get like a bit of THC in there as well. Some people claim there's benefits to that as well. I don't know. In the UK, THC is illegal, and it just makes me super chill, and just gives you a feeling of sort of wellness, like general well-being, and can help get rid of some aches and pains as well. Right, where was I? Michael, better to light a single candle than to curse the darkness. That is a wonderful proverb. What's the other one I like? It's easier to wear slippers than to try to carpet the world. They are two very good sayings. Philip Swan, hi Hench, I get wiped out after a workout. People say it's supposed to energise you, but I have to sacrifice mental energy for the rest of the day. I've tried to build my stamina over the years, still no good. When my diet wasn't on point, I would be similarly feeling. Also, I used to use a lot of stimulants, and I've found since kicking stimulants and since eating the healthiest diet possible, before I was eating, I was making sure I got my protein in, but I was eating a lot of animals, hell of a lot of animals, regrettably. I was having a lot of junk, like refined sugars and things, just to get the calories in. I was going up to 8,000 calories. And I'd do a hard training session, and I'd be knackered, and I'd probably generally have to sleep straight after. Now, whole foods plant-based, okay, I use a couple of servings of a processed protein product, such as protein powder, seitan, soya, that's, tofu, sorry, that sort of thing. Other than that, whole plant foods, I'm just energized out the wazoo. And I feel like I could go all day. I don't, because I know that's not how weight training works. And, you have to hit it hard, but sort of abbreviated, and then there's the time off when you're recovering. I would say if your nutrition is not on point, if you're not eating mostly whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, little nuts and seeds, if you're eating much in the way of, I'm guessing you're probably vegan if you're here, but say you're eating animal products if you weren't vegan, or, just junky of processed foods and not the whole foods, that could be a thing. If you're using lots of stimulants, if you're not sleeping well, if you're not resting well, these all And maybe you're just short of a nutrient or two. Like sometimes people forget about vitamin D, or B12 helps to metabolize your macros into ATP, into your muscles energy. So I would look at lifestyle as well, like even like stress. Like since I've added in cold showers, meditation, breath work, nature walks, stretching rehab. So I'm in the gym for like an hour, hour and a half, and I hit it. I'll be honest, I do hit it bloody hard, but that's it. And then out of the gym, I really rest up. I mean, yeah, we go for walks, but that's quite restorative. I do hill sprints as well on my bike now. I don't really do leg training per se, because I want better heart and lung health, lung capacity. So I've been doing sprints on my bicycle up a hill. I do 6 sets of those, and that's maintaining my quad mass. And I'm feeling more energy, better recovery, better weight training, because my cardiovascular system can recover quicker between sets. So maybe get a balance of cardio and weights if you've not already. Nice clean diet. Make sure you're getting all your micronutrients. Chronometer.com. Make sure you're hitting all your macros. Sleep well. 7 to 8 hours sleep ideally. Maybe a nap in the day if that suits you. Yeah, I hope that helps. Let me know if it does, or if you're already doing all those things, then it's hard to say. But it's often like maybe your iron's low, or so checking on chronometer. Just having a good solid nutrition plan is good. Higher carb, lower fat as well, I found seems to be better. Raz, what protein powder is it that you have a link for? I use my protein YouTube, but I'll tell you one if it's... It is delicious. I'll be honest, it's a more natural one. So if you're really used to like synthetic like flavors, perhaps it's not the one for you. The reason I use my protein is that I think it's the best on the market. A third party test for over 500 different contaminants. It's bio-fermented. It's they call it veganic. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it's organic. Like it's good quality stuff, no nasties. It absorbs, digests really well. It's got a couple of added. So they've got the Perform protein, which has got like medicinal, like functional mushrooms in there. It's got extra BCAAs to help with muscle building. It's got like 6 grams of those. It's got the digestive enzymes. I never thought I would say this, and I've represented other protein companies in the past, and I never did that well with them in terms of sales. And I think it's because I didn't rave about them, because they were all the same. Like they kind of did the job. But using my protein, using Vivo Life, honestly, I feel like it's a benefit to my training. I mean, I suppose there's compounding variables. Like I've been whole foods plant-based, or mostly whole foods plant-based, for a long time now, and I guess the benefits of that compound over time. So is it that my nutrition is so on point, or is it that the protein powder as well? I feel like the protein powder is given a benefit, but I suppose you'd have to do a double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomised trial to know for sure. Put it to the test. Oh, I need to have my matcha. But I feel like it's benefited my training. I think it has. And it's a little more expensive. But it seems to be more effective, and it's one of the healthier ones. A report came out a couple of years ago on protein powders, and there was only 3 that they tested out of the myriad of powders that didn't have toxic levels of things like heavy metals. All 3 were vegan. None of the non-vegan ones passed, and of the vegan ones, only 3 passed. Vivo Life was one of them, and they're great in terms of sustainability, fair wages, all that kind of good. They're really, really good people. I love everything about the Vivo Life company and product. And products, I've got their matcha as well. Oh, god damn. That hit the spot. Right. Dean, so many people I know, when questioned about eating meat, say I don't eat a lot of meat. Yeah. So my reply is always, then it wouldn't be extreme. Yeah, it would be extremely easy to go vegetarian. And if they're vegetarian, it would be extremely easy to go vegan. I'm not a big fan of vegetarianism because, are you doing it for ethics? Well, if you're doing it for ethics, you're funding the death of baby animals instead of adult animals. Because obviously, if we want the milk, we need to kill the calves so they don't drink the milk. And so that's the veal industry. If we want loads of chickens laying eggs, we need to breed loads of chickens into existence. Boys don't lay eggs. They're the wrong breed to be harvested, to be murdered. Let's use the real words, for their flesh, for their bodies. So they're put in a grinder alive. So if you're vegetarian, you're funding baby genocide. And in terms of health, dairy is the most saturated fat rich food of them all. So, and obviously you need loads of cows which belch out methane, which is destroying the planet. So whichever way you look at it, vegetarianism isn't really any better than carnism, omnivorism. Omnivorism. Is it omnivorism or omnivorism? I don't know. Cowboy, you look cute. She's just lolloping. Yeah, not a fan of vegetarian. I mean, it's nice. I guess some people use that as a kind of stepping stone, and so that is cool if people are transitioning. Taking nothing away from anyone. I think it's the easiest thing in the world to go vegan, but some people find it hard because of relationships and just different things. I appreciate it is a big step for a lot of people. So not to take anything away from people, but it's animals' lives. They're screaming. They're imprisoned. They're sometimes in tiny pens where they can't move, their whole lives. And then they're queued up watching their friends and family be systematically executed in front of them. They'll be standing there shaking, they'll be peeing, they'll be weeing themselves in absolute terror, knowing that they're next, knowing that there's no way out. And because, I'm a bit worried my mate might call me a wimp or something. We need to be tougher than that. Because it's not fair. Bewildered Bill. Oh my! I never saw your videos or that you aren't. I never saw your videos that you aren't at your best. Thank you. How to change out your self-medication? Okay, I'm also meditation. I'm also working through trauma-reduced anxiety, panic, and addictive. Yeah. Russell Brandon, Gabor Mate. Content helps at the moment for me. Yeah, they're great. Thank you for your authenticity, trust, and openness. You're welcome. Yeah, it's what the world needs, isn't it? It's what the world needs. Bit controversial, and I'm not. Well, how do I put this? I'm not endorsing this. I'm not suggesting people should try it, and you should do a lot of research. Certain people should never do these things, but there are 40 major institutions now around the world studying the use of hallucinogenic compounds such as LSD, such as psilocybin mushrooms. Well, they're using the psilocybin directly, or the psilocin, I don't know. They're using the active component, and they are treating depression, anxiety, addiction, PTSD, depression. I've been dabbling, and I can really rate the use of psychedelics as well for the right person. Don't just hear me say that and go off and try it, anyone, because under age 25 can mess up your brain development. If you have red-green colour blindness, can mess your sight up for several days. You just have loads of traces and you won't be able to see. Schizophrenics should not be dabbling with that stuff. However, if you approach it properly, ideally, I mean, these people are doing it in a medical setting with 2 counsellors. So not only are they doing the experience, but they're being counselled after and integrating what they're learning or what they're unlearning sometimes. It's not for everyone, but it can be a very, very, very powerful tool. And like I say, 40 major institutes, so Johns Hopkins, UCLA, NYU, Imperial College, all the biggest and best and brightest institutions. There's now been like hundreds of thousands of trials And where did I see it? I think I saw a TED talk recently, and they put up some stats, and they are so effective. More often than not, they're reversing these issues that I mentioned. Not in every case for everyone, or maybe some people need more. How do you really say it? More sessions, I suppose you'd say it. Normally, you say ceremonies and things when you're doing it, like traditionally, like in the indigenous ways, you know, with your ayahuasca or different mushrooms and things. So something to look into, but don't take it lightly. And of course, you don't have to do the macro dose. You can do micro dosing as well, which is very good for a lot of people. So several ways up the mountain to the same destination. Raz, have you heard of Flav drops? I sure have. That's my protein. A few drops shake. It's not coating, but it tastes. Gives it taste. Can't imagine that they're great. No, this is it. But are they bad? Yeah. I don't know what's in them, but yeah, they're bad. I don't have to look. If they're not whole plant foods with fibre and phytochemicals, you know, basically you're eating you're swallowing chemicals there, like man-made nonsense. That's never going to be good for you in any way, shape or form, I'm sorry to say. I don't think I've ever used... I might have got some once, I think. Because I got some unflavoured protein. I think I have used them years ago, a lot of years ago. I wouldn't touch them now, personally. Tom Z, what's it like being totally awesome in Hench Herbivore? Thanks, you lovely man. Thank you for that. That's made my day. What a lovely... I'll tell you what I really enjoy is meeting people like you who are so kind and willing to give a compliment. Like a lot of people in life are not willing to give you a compliment because it feels to them like they're diminishing themselves, and they probably feel crappy about themselves already, a lot of people. And I think that says a lot about you, that you're willing to give a big compliment like that. And you're just the sort of person that I would like to have around. Do you know what I mean? This is what I've really got from YouTube, is a big community of awesome, lovely, like-minded people who give me kindness. Like, this is the best job in the world, I promise you. Thanks, brother. Nick Craig, does tempeh have B12? No, I eat it a lot and oatly drink sometimes. Is it enough? Nothing's wrong with me or good. Well, you wouldn't really notice if you were B12 deficient. You might not notice anything for a long old time, and then it could go really bad all of a sudden. You need. I don't recommend getting your B12 from food. It's hard to get adequate because you won't have big quantities in there, and the conversion rate is so low. You're either best under age 65. You're best to take a daily supplement of at least 50 micrograms. Or a weekly bolus dose of 2,500 micrograms. Over age 65, you need like 1,000 micrograms per day because we lose the ability to make intrinsic factor in the intestines, which is how we produce the B12 from our bacteria. Not produce B12, absorb the B12. I knew I'd said something wrong there. Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't rely on, if it's fortified foods, you need quite high quantities, about 3 times a day apparently. Again, Dr. Greger has done a video. If you type in B12 recommendations in nutritionfacts.org and filter for like most recent, he will say in there something to do with DV, dietary value, which I don't quite understand, but he reckons 3 times a day you have to have like a decent sort of serving. Better to get like a supplement and know you've done it and then not have to worry. And if you get a little in some food, like that's, yeah, it's water soluble, it don't matter. Michael Askew, Hench trains wearing slippers. That's how hard he is. Don't know about that. Did you notice how Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you look at all the photos of him in a gym, everyone's got trainers on. He's the only one with bare feet. I was trained barefooted. What's that all about? Vegemite Codbod is in the house. Don Soyboy, good to see you. JB001, how is it possible to express veganism without sounding judgmental? This has been a challenge for many of us. By default, seems like we're wagging a condemnatory finger. That was a hard word for a Sunday morning. Condemnatory. Don't think I've ever said that before. I think it's speaking to the... Well, you can say a fact without attaching a judgment to it. It's only judgmental if you say, like, you know, you're being a bit shit by by doing that. So if you're just saying facts, you know, it's unnecessary to eat animals, therefore I feel that it's unethical to eat animals. You know, they feel pain, they feel fear, they seek love, they scream under the knife just like me. Like, why would I harm an animal unnecessarily if I don't need to? Versus saying all that and then saying like a effing W, then you've put a judgment on it. But yeah, I know what you mean. It is difficult because people are touchy. People are. So you have to be super gentle how you go about it. But speak to the positives, and don't add a judgment statement onto the end of your facts. And also, what's that called? The Socratic method, where rather than giving a load of facts, you question. And you get people to unravel their own hypocrisy. And if you're asking questions, that people feel a lot less threatened. That can work well. So yeah, look up Socratic method and see if you can learn how to do that. But great question. Stacey Langley, a friend of mine has a stomach ulcer. His doctor told him not to eat any acidic fruit. Thoughts? I would think fruit's the least of his worries. I don't really know. Once you've got an ulcer, I guess you have to modify your eating in certain ways. So that wouldn't surprise me really. But you really need to get the animal products out. And yeah, I don't know what you do about that. In all honesty, I'm more of a someone's at the door and Gemma's meditating. I'll just be 1 minute, guys. Sorry, hold that thought. Oh, that was weird. There was no one there. Where am I? Here I am. I better get this in me. I've got to do my sprints in 15 minutes. Refreshing. Right. Where was I? Yeah, so yeah, I can't really add any more to that, sadly. Stacey, sorry about that. Ricardo, any tips on what to eat after intermittent fasting? Trying to skip dinners, having a late breakfast. Any tips on what to eat after intermittent fasting? Just the healthy whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, loads of herbs and spices. That's your best food for after IF, for after the gym, before the gym, for not getting ill, for recovering from illness. It's the same stuff. Whole plant foods, just get them in you. Jimmy Hardy. Are you Jimmy Hardy from the gym? And hello, sir, if that is you. Hello, mate. What dose per day do you recommend for B12? Under age 65, you need at least 50 micrograms per day. Or you can do once a week, 2,500. Did I say milligrams? Micrograms. Over age 65, the dose goes up to 1,000 micrograms per day. And yeah, that's that. And if that is you, I freaking love you, brother. You're awesome. Karen, I am 47 years young. Vegemite cod bod is feeling me. How dare you? I'm a married man, I'll have you know. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Bewildered Bill. Eliza, the vegan, is here, formerly Purple Piplup. How you doing? No, she's got a new channel. Check her out. She's a delight. Philip, thank you, Hench. If you don't mind, we'll say, hang in there, sweet corn, and watch some Star Trek. You'll be right. What? Hang in there, sweet corn, and watch some Star Trek. You'll be all right. There you go. I do requests. JB001, the clinical setting would kill it for me, but it's probably necessary for most people. Yeah, I feel, yeah. So I think they put on blindfolds. They have some nice music and whatever. So I heard this wonderful story about a lady, and she had cancer, and she had it treated, she had it removed or whatever, but she had terrible anxiety that it was going to go back. It was debilitating for her. And so she was in one of the trials using like LSD or psilocybin mushrooms or whatever. And apparently, so she's got the blindfold on. I think you always get a male and a female sort of counsellor, and they kind of babysit you to make sure you're, okay. And supposedly she saw in her body like a black mass. And initially she wondered if it was her cancer, but then she realised it was in the wrong place and it wasn't her cancer. And she realised it was her fear. And apparently she screamed at the top of her voice, "Get the F out of my body." I mean, can you imagine what these two counsellors must have been thinking? Get the F out of my body. Supposedly, she never worried about her cancer coming back ever again after that point. So I think that's how powerful. And again, it's not for everyone. Do a load of research. Be safe. There's a lot of things to consider, but I think it is so worth looking at. There's a big stigma. There's a big stigma on these things because of the way particularly the US government put out propaganda about it. And it was because, they were wanting men to go and fight in the Vietnam War, and they were using these compounds and seeing life in a different way. And they were like, why do I want to go and bomb a load of people who are just like me? No, thank you. They were thinking for themselves, and they didn't want to be like robots, like doing what they were told and hurting others. They felt people doing large doses of these things can have like life-changing revelations and feel like oneness, feel that we're all one and everything affects everything. And how dare you hurt another? A lot of people go vegan off the back of these experiences. So the government didn't enjoy that aspect, so they made them illegal, and they put out propaganda saying, oh, if you take these compounds, you'll jump out of a window thinking you can fly. Well, supposedly, like, that virtually never, ever happens, and they're so non-toxic as well. But anyway, this is not me giving them the seal of approval. This is me saying, if you have got issues that it could potentially help with, do a ton of research. It's not something to be taken lightly, and you can have a terrifying time. You can think that you can get stuck in like a loop. You can lose all perspective. Like you total ego dissolution. You'll forget who you are. You may even forget that you've got a body. You may feel like you're just consciousness detached, and you have all these stupid, like, mad thoughts. Your brain's not working normally. All the different parts are like connected in weird ways. And you can have the worst time of it. Some people can actually get traumatized from doing it. So it's not to be taken lightly. I will just say that caveat. So don't be daft, is what I'm saying. Angerad's life. We absolutely love your vegan skits. Thank you, lovely. Do subscribe to my channel, Vegan Skits, with a Z. Doing a lot of reels as well. I'm kind of repurposing them, so they're going on that YouTube channel generally. They're going on Instagram reels. They're going on TikTok as well. Depending on the subject, some of them are really taken off and going a little bit viral. Some of them are like dead in the water. So I'm kind of learning what to upload where. But we'll get there. Stain, my doctor says the liver stocks B12. Yep, that's true. And I don't really need a supplement if I drink the fortified milk or eat fortified soy yogurt. Well, if you're getting at least 50 micrograms per day or 2,500 micrograms a week, or, I mean, I don't imagine there's many people over age 65 on the channel, but I better just say it. Anyone over age 65, 1,000 micrograms per day. If you're not getting that much through your fortified food, your liver will run out eventually. It can take up to like 5 years, but it does happen. I think that's really stupid advice, unless he knows exactly how much you're getting in your foods. I think B12 is best on an empty stomach as well. I think that's the reason. Dr. Greger actually says you need 3 servings if you're doing it with fortified foods, and they need to be quite high dose. What do I know? I'm not a scientist. I'm not a researcher. Dr. Greger, though, and nutritionfacts.org are. So I would take his advice over that one, which I'm trying to, hopefully I'm echoing. That's what I do personally. Vegemite cod boiled, the soy milk my hands had 15 micrograms cyanocobalamin per 200 mils. So yeah, so you'd need quite a lot of that, wouldn't you? 600. You need about getting on for 700 mil or so, around 700 mil. And that's to get like the bare minimum. But then, like I say, it's not so easily absorbed on. So I take a supplement, I do it sublingually under the tongue, and I do it first thing in the morning before I eat or drink anything. So, you know, that's going to be much more absorbable. Don Sideboy, I would still supplement 2.5 mics of B12 per week, just to be on the safe side. It's not a thing to mess with, B12. It's not a thing to mess with. Polish vegan, Hench, what's your favourite recipe from both your cookbooks, sweet and savoury? So from the Virtuous Vegan's Desserts cookbook, and Gemma's making some today, actually. It's the Millionaire Shortbread. It's to die for. It tastes so naughty. It tastes like Millionaire Shortbread, but it's just whole foods. It's really healthy. So that's my favourite dessert, definitely. My favourite savoury, maybe the Moroccan lentil soup, out of where do you get your protein. And so that's got loads of different flavours. It's got like lemon and cinnamon and chili and a little salt and sort of some bitter flavour. I forget what's in there. I guess that would be the lemon, wouldn't it? There's all these flavours and they sound bonkers, but they're perfectly balanced, and it's just like a party in your mouth and everyone's invited and they've brought their mates. Yeah, I really recommend those 2 recipes. Super chat. Chris donated 3 Great British pounds. Bless you. Thank you very much. Hey, Hench, love your content. Who are your top 3 vegan content creators? Oh, that's a really good question. I would say Derek Simnet, Brian Turner, and I don't know. I'm going to say Vegan Mooncat in case he's in it. Kev In is in the house. Jimmy Hardy, thanks, bro. Top man, keep up the awesome work. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate you. Kev In, did you guys just talk about sensory deprivation tanks? No, we were talking about hallucinogens, but yeah, you can get a similar effect, can't you? Several ways up the same mountain to the same destination. I've not actually been in a sensory deprivation tank. I would really like to. I would like to couple that with one of these plant medicine experiences. Bit scary. I don't know if there's a potential to drown, so that might take a little bit of thought. But I guess if it's supporting you because it's got all the salt there, you ought to be all right, don't you? You can though, can't you? You can become like paralysed. So actually that might not be... Pretend I didn't say that, boys and girls, because that might be really bloody dangerous. Toby Gosling, got you on TikTok. Thank you, my friend. Vegemite, hey Hench, did you see what I learned eating this meat won't save planet is full of lazy biased research? Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I've seen a couple of people's responses. I thought about doing one myself, but I just couldn't be bothered with the same old inane BS. It just gets on your nerves, doesn't it? Angharad, today my mum and I are going to make your apple pie with banana and ice cream. Oh god damn! Good use of emojis there. Fantastic, Angharad. That's one of my very favourite recipes as well. It's so warming and satisfying, and you've got the hot apple pie, and then you've got the nice cold ice cream. It's delicious, super delicious. I like because it uses almond flour, so the crust is quite crispy. It's a little bit different. It's kind of a different spin on it. Umsubathi. Hi, I'm an athlete. I think my iron/oxygen has taken a knock since going vegan. Please advise on iron for runners. If you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, i.e. a healthy vegan diet, it's a non-issue. When I was a nutritionist, I wrote a plan, like the lowest amount of calories I tended to prescribe for someone, 1650, 1750 calories. That'll be for a female on a cut generally. And without trying, I got her like 3.5 times the RDA for iron. Without even trying, you know. It's calorically adequate. It's whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices. By the end of the day, if you're eating enough calories, you're eating that range of foods, it's a non-issue. It's nothing to even consider. There's no point even thinking about it. If, however, you're eating any old crap, yeah, you might be deficient in a few things. Other than that, I would imagine if you are eating healthfully, perhaps it's psychological because you've been told your whole life you need meat for like iron. It's complete BS. You really, really don't. So you're saying like, I think, so it sounds to me like you're not being scientific. What I would invite you to do is to plug all your foods into the Chronometer app, Chronometer, Chronometer without an H. Some people think there's an H in there. Chronometer. Plug all your foods in. It'll tell you how much of all the nutrients you've got. And if you're short on vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, essential amino acids, yeah, your sports performance will take a dive. You probably won't live as long either. So this is really important stuff. Everyone should be doing this. When you switch diets, you need to you need to know how to plan appropriately. And like I said, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Eat adequate calories, eat the majority, ideally eat all your food as whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices. By the end of the day, if you eat enough calories, typically you'll hit, your vitamins and minerals, other than like D3 in the winter months. So you may need to supplement that. B12, if you're not eating foods with that in. And I don't know, there's some foods that are meant to have it naturally now, they're saying, but I don't know that it's been tested in humans. I would advocate for a supplement. So supplement D3 in the winter months, B12 year round. Make sure you're eating a decent amount of flax and or chia seeds, so you're getting your omega-3s. Make sure your omega-6 isn't very high relative to omega-3. You just want it 3 or 4 to 1 in favour of omega-6. You don't want more than that. Have some seaweed for iodine, if not take an iodine supplement. But really, that's it. You should be getting all your micronutrients. If, however, half your food is like nonsense junk food, or if you're a smaller person, or if you want to, if you're on a fat loss diet, if you want a small amount of calories, even the tiniest bit of junk foods, you're just displacing some healthy food, and it is very possible that you can come up short on some vitamins and minerals or essential fats or amino acids. So, yeah, it's not something to be taken lightly. It's really not. But at least a vegan diet can be healthy. When you start adding in animal foods, even a fairly trivial amount of animal foods raises your serum LDL to the point where you lay down atherosclerosis. it leads to the #1 killer of humans. So, what I say about that is at least a vegan diet can be healthy. And on average, James Wilkes cited a study when he was on Joe Rogan, I think. And he was saying, actually, on average, the latest findings are that your average vegan is short of 7 nutrients, whereas your average omnivorous eater is short of 9 nutrients. So, there is that. Thanks, Michael. Simone is in the house. Good to see you. Lovely. Jamie, are there any specific whole plant foods or nutrients you suggest eating more of for muscle/joint injury recovery? Not really. You just need to be hitting your basic needs. If you're like a larger strength or physique athlete, yeah, you may need a bit more protein than your average person. So legumes, tofu tempeh, seitan, protein powder. I'll go easy on the processed protein products. So eat more like legumes and whole grains, really. Of course, iron is important. Vitamin C, copper, I think. Probably calcium. But really and truly, make sure you're hitting them all. Use that chronometer app and make sure you're getting at least the bare minimum of all the RDAs for those things. It's not a thing of, if you suddenly put in loads more of one thing, it's necessarily going to help. It's only really going to help if you're not eating enough in the first place. So just hit your bare minimums. Muscle recovery, you could consider adding in the old CBD oil. Link below for 30% off your first order of Honest Hemp. But yeah, it's not hard really. It's not that hard. And I don't think there's anything that just sort of makes you super like amazing, like short of like harmful PEDs or something like that, which I don't recommend. Although I used to do them myself, like a bad person. Not a bad person, a silly person. See you, Michael Askew. Have a good day. Right, let's wet my whistle. Oh God, that was the wrong drink. Right, 10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes, then I must go and do my hill sprint. So get your comments or questions in. Simone, I've got a bit obsessed with making soup lately. It actually amazes me how much you can do with veg. My soup maker is my new best friend. Yeah, I love it. I love soup, particularly if I'm dieting. If you blend it a bit, like it's such a consistency that it stays in the stomach longer. It keeps you fuller for longer. Liberate more nutrients. Yes, a good way of using up, like adding in loads of extra veg. Veg is so health promoting for us. Yeah, I love it. I love a soup. Stain, do you think Oatly milk is healthy food? Probably not. The barista one, I think, certainly has got a lot of oil in, hasn't it? I've not really looked at it, if I'm honest. I'll have a look. Oatly milk. Ingredients. I would make my own. I would use oats, water, a medjool date, whiz that up. That's what I would do. So oat base and then rapeseed oil. So that's very high in omega-6, and it's an oil. Oils are they're the opposite of a health promoting food, really. Well, I don't know. They're not as good as a whole plant food. That's the very least, like, that you can definitely say you'd be better off eating a whole food with fibre, with micronutrients. Like, it's no fibre. Most of the nutrients are ripped out. You might get a bit of fat soluble nutrient, like a bit of vitamin E. You might get a tiny bit of polyphenols, but relative to the whole plant food, it's nothing. And it's a lot of calories, and it tends to be pro-inflammatory. When you heat it, creates oxygen-free radicals, more AGEs, more acrylamides. So rapeseed oil, calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate. So there's salt added. Bit of vitamins, potassium iodide. Yeah, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Oh, that was the barista. Oh, that was Oatly. Oh, so that was the standard Oatly. So let's have a look at the barista. Acidity regular, dipotassium phosphate. I mean, you know, these are generally going to be synthetic, like additives. Like you really want to get your minerals and things from whole foods. Yeah, not for me. On the scale, I think probably not half as bad as dairy milk. You know, so it's all on the scale. Is this healthy? Is this unhealthy? Well, compared to what? Look, you've got a continuum. Here's, you know, it's cyanide. Here's an apple, and you know things are somewhere along that line. So healthy, unhealthy. Well, sort of compared to what? So not the worst thing in the world, but you're displacing something that could have been a lot better. That's how I'd put that. And yeah, the salt thing. You know, we don't really want added salt, or most people don't. It's I think Dr. Greger says that it's the thing that, if people cut down, it's the thing that would save the most lives, you know, even relative to animal products. So, Polish Vegan, what's your favourite Viva Life protein powder and which ones do you recommend? I recommend them all, they're such a good company. If you're on a budget, then the Ritual one is good. It's not got all the added fancy things that make it more expensive, but it is a very good quality protein. The dark chocolate one is delicious. The vanilla one is delicious. There's a plain one as well, which I've not used, but I imagine you can put that into your cooking or into a smoothie or whatever. So that would work well. I prefer the Perform powder because it is more geared to a serious athlete. It's got the added extras, BCAAs, digestive enzymes, turmeric, black pepper, all that good stuff. And flavours, I think my favourite is the strawberry vanilla. Salted maca caramel is good as well. They're all good. I like all of them. There's banana and cinnamon, raw cacao, acai and blueberry. I think I've just named. They're all good. And to be honest, I've liked all of them at one time or another. I've gone really mad on one, and then I've got like another one, and because there's a change, like you just enjoy changing it up. They're all good, but I think my favourite of all time is the strawberry and vanilla. It's just really clean and fresh tasting. Anthony Danino, is it really possible just to live on potatoes? Well, some people have done it for a time. Spud Fit and is it High Carb Hannah? Did she do that for a while? You're not going to get all your nutrients. You're not. The omega-3 is going to be low. Yeah, several nutrients are low. Relative to like a crappy diet, it might actually be better, but it's going to be far from optimal. You know, and these essential nutrients, vitamins and minerals, essential fatty acids, omega-6 and 3, essential amino acids, they're called essential because it is essential that we eat them in order to be optimally healthy and to avoid like disease and, you know, to protect us. And yeah, if you're short on them for a while, it's not going to be optimal, is it? So again, healthy, yeah, probably healthier than a standard Western diet. Relative to a varied whole foods plant-based diet, not a chance. Basti, I'm eating my breakfast, South Africa. Oh, welcome. I'm eating bread with vegan margarine. How bad are things like vegan? Horrible. Horrible. They may have like trans fats in there, which raise risk for heart disease, like animal fats. So the biggest killer of vegans is actually heart disease. And it's totally avoidable if you eat a whole foods vegan diet. So what I would suggest, for one thing, the bread, you know, that should at least be like a whole grain bread without palm oil in there. Palm oil has long and very long chain triglycerides, which give you heart disease like animal products. You know, you can get healthier breads. And then I would mash up some avocado and use that in place of margarine, and that would be really healthy. And again, like margarine, you know, you're going to have salt in there. You know, of any chemical like looking ingredients, they're not going to be the best. Luke Dunning is in the house staying. I do use it in my coffee for my cappuccino. That is Italian for cap of foam. I know it all. I don't really know it all. I haven't got a clue about most things. Caution, what if I take oat milk but I use the separated fibre in some other food? Would it come under whole food? No. I see what you're saying. You're still getting the fibre. But no, the oat milk wouldn't. You know, I see what you're saying. You're sort of adding it in later on. Oh, I don't know. That question's complicated for me this morning. Yeah, because you're getting the fibre out, so it's gonna have a faster like effect in the body. So like a higher GI effect at the time. So no. I will say no on that one. Hassim Hakon is in the house. Luke Dunning. Morning, Paul. I just wanted to say thanks for all your videos. Thank you for your kind words. I've been vegan since the start of the year and it's been a really positive change. Well done, my friend. Well done. Where in the world are you? How's the vegan scene where you are? And thanks for the big up. Hassim, favourite citrus? Do you know, I might say pomelo. Which I never thought I'd say, but I've been getting a few through exoticfruits.uk. I'm an ambassador with those guys, or exoticfruits.co.uk is their website. Exoticfruits.uk is their Instagram. And yeah, they've been sending me the odd pomelo. And I used to not really like them. They're like, they're the largest citrus fruit. I think they're sometimes called Citrus Maximus as well. I think is one of their names. And I found them to be not very juicy and kind of like a mild grapefruit flavour. But actually, of late, since Exotic Fruits has been sending them, I'm actually really enjoying them. They're like a nice addition, like into a salad or something. I was recently doing a mini diet, so I was using that as some of my fruit. So there's a lot of calories. There's a lot of water and fibre, little calories. And I've really got into them. So, yeah, pomelo, I'm going to say. Pomelo, pomelo. How many of you guys have tried a pomelo? Type hashtag pomelo below. Pomelo. Or just put yes or no, that'll be easier. Anthony Danino, so potatoes and walnuts is optimal then? That's a good question, isn't it? That's a good question. I will say not optimal because your omega-6 is going to be a lot higher than omega-3. Mind you, will that balance out like 3 or 4 to 1? Let's have a look. I'm going to put that to the test. So, white potato. And so we'll try and get about 1,000 calories from white potatoes maybe. So what's that, about 1,500? Yeah, about 1,500. Boom. So I've done, oh no, that's just 1,000 calories. I want to do more like 2,000. So that would be more like 2,900. Oh yeah, look at that, 2,001 calories. So 2,001 calories worth of white potatoes is 48 grams of protein. So enough protein for a female there. On average, 386 carbs, plenty of fibre, 0.3 grams of omega-3, so we need 2.2 or 3.2, female and male. Omega-6 is low as well, 0.9. So fats, essential fatty acids are low, but the proteins are looking good. It's a bit lower in essential fatty acids, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. I would have to actually really check what are the RDIs and if this is set to them or not. I mean, I guess it is. B2 is short. Choline is short relative to what mainstream says, but for me, that's about perfect. Vitamin K is only at 40%. That's very important. Carotenoids, 8%. Yeah, that's not good. Selenium is non-existent. Sodium is low. Zinc is about 3/4 there. Calcium is only like 1/4 of the calcium relative to RDA. So potatoes, not looking good. If that was all so for a female, that's your average calories, they would be short on all those things. So not recommended. Now let's add in some walnuts, as suggested. That is a really good suggestion, actually. I didn't think of that, but having given that some thought, that's where I would probably go. Walnuts, boom. And so we want about 500 calories. So what's that, about 40? A little less, 37, 38 walnut halves. And so there's your 2.5k calories. And now if we look, wow, 7.3 grams of omega-3, so that's covered. 30 grams of omega-6, so 7, 14, 28. It's a little high in omega-6 relative to omega-3. Not by much, but that's not ideal. But it's not far out. According to this, essential fatty acids, cysteine, histidine, leucine, lysine, methionine. Oh, that's only 1% out though. And tyrosine are a bit low. I'm not sure which RDAs this is going by, but they may be a little low. Total protein 60 grams, so adequate total protein for a male if there's enough essential amino acids there. All the vitamins are covered, save for B2 is at 85% of the RDA. Again, choline is a little low relative to what mainstream recommends, but for my money, that's spot on. Carotenoids are virtually non-existent. I think for a male, you want 900, for a female, 700 micrograms of retinol activity equivalent, because obviously it's not vitamin A, it's not actually retinol, it's the carotenoids. And this is only, where have we gone? 0.8 of a microgram instead of 700 or 900. So vitamin A, well, these are all essential. Vitamin K, not half as much as you need. Calcium, according to the data, we may only need about 500 milligrams. Most health authorities say to aim for 1,000. This is 336 milligrams, so that's woefully low. Selenium, 23%, woefully low. Really at risk for a horrible coronavirus. If you happen to get coronavirus, you'd be likely to have a horrible course of it because you really need selenium. Selenium and vitamin D were found to really affect coronavirus-like progression. Even the sodium's a bit low, 465 milligrams. So we actually want about just over 3 times that. Zinc is at 98%, so zinc is nearly there, that which surprises me, because that can be one of the nutrients which is a bit harder to come by. Right, that was a lot of words, so that was a great question though. I felt like diving into that. Nice question, Anthony Danino. Baldy Cats brings up a good point. Stop! Hammer time! Nick Craig, so salt is bad. Salt in excess is bad. We need a minimum amount of sodium, but it's not a much. You don't, if you get much over about 1,500 milligrams, you're raising your risk for like artery issues. Your arteries are pretty bloody important. You block the production of superoxide dismutase, which is a really powerful antioxidant, and you block it at the very time when you want that to be expressed, which is when the food, you know, the nutrients, etc., have got into your bloodstream. Because you want to do the oxidative stress as the... Pardon? Hi. I'm nearly done, and then I'll give you some love, okay? He's doing love eye. You know when cats go like this to you, it means they love you apparently because they trust you to like not be staring at you and to relax. So if you didn't know that, you know it now. Apparently that's a thing. We call it love eyes in our house. What was I then talking about? I got sidetracked. God knows. Oh yeah, salt. Stomach cancer, hypertension. Yeah, you don't... Wait, come on. I'm nearly done. Yeah, you don't really want to be adding that if you can help it, which you probably can help it. Hi Debs Baldwin. Good morning good morning Milton Keynes. We've got a bit of a grey morning. I think we've got quite a nice morning in Norwich. I'm off to do my hill sprints now up the hill there on my bike. So hopefully I'll have a bit of sun on me. Speaking of which, I've done 10 minutes overtime. I really better go, guys, and get some other jobs done. I could hang out with you all day. Yeah, that is cowboy talking, Hassim, yeah. That is cowboy talking. Right, I better go and do some things. Thanks, moderators, for keeping us troll-free. Did we have a super chat today? I think we did. Thanks for the super chat, keeping the beans on my toast and all that. Back tomorrow night, 6 p.m. GMT, me and Gemma. So set a reminder in your phone. If you're new here, we'd love you to become part of the Hench Herbivore community. You can do it by hitting the subscribe button, clicking the bell icon, so you're notified of new videos. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.